you don't suck. But the way that you are categorizing and following up with the leads in your database, that probably does suck. And in this episode, I am going to really break down to you how every lead, and I mean everybody in your database, every person that you meet, they are somewhere on their home buying or selling journey. It is your job to figure out exactly where they are and what to do with them while they're there. Now, here's the problem with most of us real estate agents. I know, baby, you want a home run, right? You are ready to meet the person who is like, oh yes, I'm so happy that I met you. I'm ready to buy a home yesterday. Get them in your pipeline, get them closed right away, and be done with it. And while that does happen on occasion, what is probably going to be more likely is that the majority of the people that you meet, the majority of the people you engage with, the majority of people in your sphere of influence, they are going to be more of a nurtured client, and we cannot fail with knowing exactly where they are and how to nurture them best. And because of this, listen, I've spent a lot of time, a lot of hours just really figuring out things that I did wrong, what I would have done differently, when I started doing them differently, and how they actually impacted my pocketbook. Lord, I said pocketbook, okay? You know my mama from the South with me using the word pocketbook. But literally how when this clicked for me, it made so much sense. And I wasn't throwing people away thinking that they were just bad leads. I just figured out exactly how to serve them better. And I'm gonna let you know right now, after a lot of thought process, I have come up with the 4 stages of the home buying and selling journey. And trust me, everyone that you meet, they are going to fall in one of these areas, and you want to be able to identify the area and identify how you can serve them. And trust me, number 4 is the one where most people mess up, and you're going to want to stick around to hear that one. So here is the first stage. The first stage will be your leads that are curious and considering. They are curious about, what would it look to become a homeowner, or curious to think, starting to kick the ball down the road to say, you know what, maybe we are not in our forever home. There is no pressure for them to move, no pressure for them to sell their home or to commit to buying something, but they definitely have their spidey senses up a bit. Now, here is how you can help them. If you are sending them out like something and you're in their face, like trying to pressure them, you are going to repel this person, okay? Because they're trying to figure out their own thoughts. They don't need you overwhelming them with a lot of information. And that is when you're going to come across as salesy. But here's what you can do. You can provide value and stay top of mind by maybe sending them a quarterly market update on the area that they're most interested in. When you see events pop up in the area, maybe there is an Easter egg hunting, they have little kids, or a Christmas tree lighting. You're just keeping them up to date on what it would look like what the lifestyle looks like in these different areas. And then you're staying connected with them in low risk, giving them phone calls just to check in with family, making sure that they're on your newsletter list, literally just being a friend and a resource to these people, but making sure that part of the resourcefulness is pointing to market, but not overwhelming them with it. So that's what you want to do for your people who are just kind of curious and considering what a change might look like for them. Now, your next phase is going to be that person who is in that planning and preparing stage. So this to me would be the people who are 6 months to a year out, right? They know that their kids are graduating, and when the kids graduate and they're empty nesters, they no longer need the 5-bedroom house, right? Or they know that they are getting married in the next couple of months, or, this home that they're in right now, they went into it knowing this is going to be my starter home. I'm going to want to, maybe flip this into a rental or sell it so that we can get the home that we want to actually be in for a longer period of time. For this person, you are going to be providing them a little bit more in-depth market updates, because if the market swings, in either direction, you don't want them to be like, oh man, I wish Rosemary would have called me and told me that interest rates went down, or that the builders were given those type of incentives, right? So you're gonna, we say in Chicago, keep your ear to the street and update them a little bit more on what's exactly happening in the market. This may be also the time that you're providing them with a mortgage calculator. You're connecting them with your preferred lender, right? So that they can start working the numbers and seeing what might make sense. If they're a homeowner and they're planning and preparing to sell, in a future date, this may be when you're connecting them with the handyman and making sure that they're getting all of this homeowner maintenance done. And again, staying in front of them so that they know that you are being resourceful and you are helping them out. The goal in this phase is to guide them, right, with clarity on what the next steps will be and build excitement about what they're looking to do in that home buying or selling journey, okay? So that is where you want to be. Now, the next phase, right? This is a phase that a lot of us like to be in, okay? This is when the people are ready to roll. They have done the planning, they have done the preparation, they have the money saved, they already have the plane tickets booked on where they're going to empty nest or whatever their next step looks like, and they are ready to make the move. With this person, you want to get in front of them as soon as possible to get the paperwork signed. And quite honestly, sometimes in the planning and preparation stage, I will sign listing or buyer paperwork if I know that they're going to be, it's coming up on the horizon. But definitely, like when they're ready to go, this is not the person that you are dating that appointment out for another week or two. You want to get in front of them and get out showing, get the house ready for market. You are helping them with the next step. Now, we want to make sure that when they are at this phase, that we are definitely articulating like a sense of urgency on why this is a good time, like they have done all of the due diligence and they're ready to go. But don't do it in a way that's so salesy where they feel like they're being forced, right? This is where you want to be clear because you've asked the right questions, and I'm going to link to a video that I did about just making sure that you're asking the right questions. You want to make sure that you've already asked the right questions, you understand clearly their motivation, and you are pushing it so that they know that you are the person that will help solve their problem. In this phase, your goal is to get them to the closing table, but not just get them there, right? You want to get them there and make sure that you execute effortlessly, that you show extreme professionalism, that they feel cared for, that you understood exactly what their needs were, because not only in this ready to go phase is this your biggest opportunity to help get them to the closing table, but you also want to position yourself to get that review, to get that vote of confidence so that they go out and tell everyone about what that experience was like working with you. Now, let's get to the fourth phase, which a lot of people, y'all try to skip over this one, but trust me, this is where the trust is built. This is the not now phase, right? So this is probably the phase where, think about the person that you just helped. Very likely they're not, after they buy a house, they're not going to be looking to buy another one, right, in the next year or two. Or just that person who, for whatever reason, home ownership is not their goal, or they just feel settled, right? We decided we was going to be in this house until the kids left, and the kids are 4. Don't pressure me. Every time I talk to you, don't talk to me about selling my house because I'm good. Now, oftentimes I see people like you throw these people away. You don't follow up with them. You don't stay top of mind. You don't add them to your newsletter. You're not sending market reports because you think that life will never happen and things won't change. And guess what? Things may never change, right? They may be good for an extended amount of time, but that does not mean you don't want to capitalize on the opportunity to build trust with them, for them to get to know you, for them to understand how you operate as a human first and as a business owner. When you show love, compassion, and care for people that you aren't necessarily looking to get anything from, what happens is that they want to tell people about you, right? I have some clients, like no lie. I have some people that because of their situation, they're just not in position. I'm thinking of one young lady who, came to us because she was looking to sell her home, and then she lost her job, and it just wasn't going to make sense, the move that she wanted to make, because she was going to sell her home to move into another home that was way more money. And like, it just ultimately made more sense for her to stay in her home indefinitely, right? Because the home was paid off. It just made more sense. But guess what? I still follow up with her. I still talk to her. I still send her my newsletters. I still, send my Christmas cards and different things like that to her, because number one, her situation may change. Number two, because of the way that we care for her, even when she's good, it's going to be a vote of confidence for her to refer us to her friends. And number three, we just want to be solid people, right? Because this whole business, it's all about relationships. And too often, I see realtors miss out on opportunities to go deep with building relationships, because if the person isn't ready to roll and ready to buy a house tomorrow, you want to throw them away and act like the lead is not good. When in reality, everybody that you meet, everyone in your phone, everyone in your database, they are valuable. And not only can they be valuable to your business, but just valuable to your life in general. And we have to treat them as such. So I want to make sure that you understand exactly where to put them on the journey, and you understand how to serve them. And that's why I've created a guide for you, okay? Because we need help. I needed some help. I wish somebody would have told me this. I have created a guide that is going to list out each of these 4 stages and exactly how you can effectively serve all of your leads, serve your database, no matter where they are, so that you ultimately stay top of mind and become the go-to real estate bestie. Go to rosemarylewis.com/journey to get that guide. Now, this guide is going to be super helpful for you, but if you want to go deeper with your real estate bestie and join a private boot camp that I am hosting over the next couple of weeks, where I'm really going to go into detail. I'm going to open up the curtain and go into the nitty gritty on exactly what you need to do to not only attract the right leads to your database, but how do you nurture them? How do you structure your day in your business for success? Head on over to rosemarylewis.com/bootcamp. And if it's open, you will have an opportunity to join us. And if not, you can join the wait list.